So I am here because we've got a problem. Cyber attacks and data breaches are the new normal. And unless we change the way that we are dealing with these, then we as a civilization are in great danger. So if we look at our threat landscape, what we're seeing with all of this change is more competition in our workplaces. We are going to experience an economic downturn, and we are going to experience a greater attack surface, which is going to challenge the way that we protect our data, the confidentiality, integrity, and availability of our data. The Ponemon Institute report that 64% of all incidents start from an insider attack, and that costs companies about $9 million per year. We are still reliant on a lot of technology built from our past, our heritage, our legacy technologies, coding environments, and so forth. And the speed and intensity of these attacks continue to challenge every single part of our ecosystem. And it's why we have to make sure that the risks balance and enable innovation so that our progress isn't stifled. And it's also why we have to embed security into the fabric of our lives and realize that it is more than an individual, a company, or an industry. Security is a way of being. We have to start at the top. We have to start with the leaders because the fish rots from the head down. So that means we have to get in front of the CEOs, the other C-levels, the CTOs, CIOs, CROs, and so forth, the board potentially, and non-executive directors. And we have to move forward with awareness. They really need to understand what it is that we do. We need to build our influence, we need to level up, and we need to own the problem. So for us to do this, to build our influence, we have to look at trust and trustworthiness. And I'm bringing up the trust equation here to help you understand this, because this is a model that I use. So T equals C plus R plus I. If we look at the three numerators, and we'll start with C. C stands for credibility. So these are the words that we speak or write. R stands for reliability. So these are all to do with the actions, our actions. Do we do what we say we're going to do? And I stands for intimacy. So this is all about not only intimacy that you think, but do you feel safe and secure when entrusting someone with something? All those three things, those three numerators, will help you to build trust and trustworthiness. But the real weight is in the denominator, in the S, and that stands for self-orientation. So self-orientation is about your focus, your mission, your why. It's why I spoke about at the very beginning, why I do what I do, my mission, my beliefs, empowerment, entrepreneurship, and freedom. The other shift that we need to make is adequate skills. And when we look at adequate skills in security, there's a lot of talk about us having a talent shortage. So whether it is 1.8 million, as is reported in the media, or whether it is just under 3 million, as is also reported in the media, who knows? But one thing is for certain. When we use technologies to deal with the cyber attacks and compliance failures that we have, we're using it as a silver bullet. And when we use people, it's typically to implement the technologies and then to create the policies and processes. And we've made a fundamental failure because we have recruited in our own shadow. And particularly in the recent past, we've used people from backgrounds like intelligence, military, and STEM backgrounds. And whilst these people are incredible and hugely valuable to our industry, what's happened is it's limited our thinking, because whilst it feels good working with them and we can move forward fast because they're like us and it's easy to work with people like this, it's limited our thinking capabilities and made us blindsided. And when hacking ways are becoming more creative, when they are becoming more business-like in their approaches, we have to change the way that we are dealing with these things. The collective intelligence of a group increases when we have more women in the group. Decision making improves 87% of the time when there is more diversity in the group. But when we look at security, that's when it gets really interesting. And this really was what my book was about. Because men and women are different to one another, and it is good to be different. It's great to be different. And in business, it's great strategically when we harness this power. So women are different to men, and this shows up as women seeing risk in a different way. We are more risk averse. And women are very good at assessing odds, and this shows up as a reduction in risk. Women don't necessarily fall for the same types of attacks that are presented to men. So we can lower the risk because our adversaries will use anything to get to their target.